Frank Ball, Team Ball of Ice Racing. Something is different about me today. If you figure it out, pick it out. Tell me exactly what's different. Then you get a Team Ball of Ice Racing shirt. I'll give you one of the Bull t-shirts. And by the way, this is our video series, so if you like what you see, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it wide. I'm Frank Ball, Team Ball of Ice Racing. All right, I'm Frank's Balls.
Al Moss. Relay Petrinka.
Stuff. Yeah, show. All right, so we're in a powder coat today. We are goddamn experts at this. So we are literally 48 seconds into a YouTube video. Teach us how to do this.
The company's dual voltage powder coating system. You'll notice that it's got a little diverter right here on the end of the gun. I'm going to be pulling that off for the small parts that I'm going to do today. Supposedly you only need that for larger parts and whatnot. We'll see. I'm going to start off trying without it and see how it goes. Their dual voltage system. You can see what the box looks like right there. We'll switch on it to select voltage. You've got an alligator clip here on one end to clamp onto your part. And then you've got a little handheld button control to set it up and go ahead and control your voltage.
It's like hearing test.
I went ahead and picked up 3 extra
Like this one,
bottles.
right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on. He did what?
I didn't have to try and then pour it back into a bag.
He bought 3 bottles. All right, let me show you. It comes with this jar right here, right? So we got that jar, but why don't you screw the thing on the bottom? Like, why would you buy 3 extra bottles? Listen, I'm not about wasting money, right? I tell you guys about an engine. But if we have more money, what we buy?
More bottles.
A bourbon, not of that shit, right? All right, so what tools we need today?
More bottles that we don't need.
Yeah, so what tools we got to use today?
Cigars. You need a bourbon.
And a pair of balls, right?
Yeah.
All right, a pair of balls. So we got Teflon tape. Teflon tape is so we can put our little pressure gauge on here. We're gonna be about 5 to 7 PSI on this thing. We roll it out of here. We got some safety wire.
Yep.
I'll show you how to use that.
Hang it on the rack.
You'll see our parts. We actually, we've already bead blasted our part, kind of. We wiped it down a little bit. Now they say you should preheat the part. Did we preheat it? We put it in the sun, right?
Yeah. Just sit out there for at least half an hour.
Right, so we put it in the sun and smoked the cigar too. So we preheated the cigars, we got that going. And once that's done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook that up. I got a bunch of parts we're gonna cycle through here, but we're doing our first test part. So we got about 20 minutes we're gonna burn in the middle of all this once we get started. But let's go ahead and let's fast forward and let us show you how we put this thing together and hung it, right?
Yeah.
So it's hung, right? Pretty hung?
Yeah.
Just
like a nutsack.
Yeah, just like a nutsack. It's hung. Just spit all over the place. All right, so let's take you guys over and show you how we hung this thing.
All right, so basically we took an oven rack, obviously out of this mini oven, took some safety wire, supported our part with the safety wire, obviously, and then braced it on each side of the rack so the rack didn't flip either way while he's spraying. That's pretty much it. Simple, right?
Al, you talk too much. Talk a lot. The other part I didn't tell you is we got this high-speed, low-drag, high-performance part holder. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Got this set up, got a little bit of safety wire here to keep it from wobbling and dick dangling around. And
you gotta make sure you set this on 1/2 a ton because this is a heavy piece, you know.
It is a heavy piece.
You know, don't want to be messing around.
All right, so give us 2 minutes, we'll be back. We're gonna start powder coating this thing. We're probably gonna get a bunch of powder on all this other stuff, which would be pretty because I think a little bit of purple does everybody good. We're gonna be going purple today. So I don't give a shit if you like the color or not, that's the color we're going with. So that's it, stay tuned. By the way, I forgot to tell you, if you enjoyed this thing, they should give a thumbs up, right? Like.
That's right.
And subscribe.
That's right.
And also share it far and wide.
Do all 3.
All 3. Awesome. Here we go. A little bit, let's see what we get here. Oh yeah, shoot yeah. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Boys, that looked really fucking hard. I should have done that a minute ago. Just a word of advice, boys. You know these gloves are like condoms, right? You can reuse them. All you gotta do is turn them inside out, blow into it a little bit, and put your hands in there. Will, do you know a condom has a serial number on it? Yeah. You didn't know that? Never had it rolled out that far? It's all right. I used to be that way too.
How much time does it need?
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
We'll probably go 25 since we're starting from zero. I feel like Tracy Chapman, starting from zero, got nothing to lose. All right, so carefully we're gonna take this thing off of there. And I'll need you to cut that top one. I just realized that we ran that through. Oh, no, you don't. I was smart. I only looped it lightly on this side so we can reuse it for other parts.
You want me to cut the other side?
Just undo it by hand. I can see everywhere that I'm touching, the powder's coming off. Now this is purple translucent powder, so we'll see how this looks when we bake that finish on there, but God, that was pretty hard. It took a lot of work on that first one, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Should be heating up. And away she goes, boys. Alrighty, so first thing we're gonna do is take this rubber piece off here. I tried to take this thing apart just a second ago and she was not budging. So anytime you got parts like this that won't behave, the easiest absolute thing to do instead of trying to beat your brains out on this thing is put a little bit of heat into it. Heat solves a lot of problems, by the way. Let's go hit this with some. I've already bead blasted this. It's already been in the bead blaster, so we cleaned it up really good. See if we get the top part loose first. And a little bit. I've hit the old parts, so this whole piece is going to get replaced here. It'd help if I had a little bit more wiggle room in here. I got a motor up my ass. Let's do some math. Car was born in around 1986, 2001. How old to make that part?
You said what year?
86. I say about 35 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all in school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're in school in Georgia, never mind. Alrighty. Good God. Come on, baby. Give a little, well, that little sucker takes a little bit of work to get out of there. I'm gonna have to re-guess, second guess on this one. Well, we'll come back to it. Let's go take a peek at how our part's coming along. All right, one of the toughest parts about this is cleanup. A lot of people say, why powder coat? Well, number one, the finish looks great, but number two, the cleanup's incredibly easy. Just like that. You can't do that with paint. And I personally feel like you don't get the quality of finish you do. Powder coating, I think, gives you a much better look. And when you see this part with the powder we put on there, it should somewhat look anodized with the powder that we picked. You can't do that with paint either. So that's the reason we powder coat.
All right, Frank, I gotta correct you.
You correct me. Did I fuck up?
A little bit. You forgot to mention the durability of powder coat.
Durability?
Yeah.
So it's hard like a calzo?
A little, I'd say more like a camel toe.
More like a camel toe. I don't know. I beat on a couple camel toes. You're right, they're pretty durable. All right, well, durability is a good point. What else? I mean, we get quality of look. It's going to last. We don't have to worry about getting grease or grime or anything on it. For the most part, you just spray it down and wipe it right off, right? A lot of paint you can't do that with. Paint's susceptible to chipping and other stuff, and this coating's actually pretty flexible, right? That's one thing about powder coat is it will shrink and give, where a lot of paint will crack off there when you try to do stuff to it. I didn't do it. Somebody did a paint test. They painted a piece of metal and then they powder coated it. They took a punch and hit it with a punch, and you could see that the powder coat actually stretched where they hit the punch, where the paint just cracked right off. So you're right, durability. Thanks for correcting me. I got the honest Russian here to keep straight. I love that. going on, Dougie? What's going on, Mitchell? Doing all right? We're doing a little bit of PC today.
Okay.
Not politically correct. It's my powder coat. Al, Doug, Mitchell.
Nice to meet you, man.
All right, let's try this. It's gonna look a lot different than it did when it went in. Some of that grease trapped on there, by the way. It's hot. Oh, it's hot. Still hot. It's getting hotter. Looks pretty freaking good, right? You're letting the cat out of the bag on me. Looks good. I mean, that's our first time, and we only watched 45 seconds of that YouTube video. I turned that off when the guy said he bought 3 extra bottles.
Because he sucks.
He did suck.
Yeah.
I think we might have blown. We blew a little bit of powder on here. A little bit of stuff on the top right there, but honestly, I think I could come back over that a little bit and sand it out. And I was real careful not to get it down in our screw holes. And believe it or not, I think it did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
There's a little bit in there, but that'll work, I guess, like Loctite when we get it set up in there. But that's a pretty little piece, isn't it? How much you think they would have charged us to do this professionally?
A couple $100.
A couple $100. What do we got in it? We got, let's see, 6 glasses of bourbon, 3 cigars. How much gas you use coming over?
About.
Well, wait. So, in Trump's terms, how much gas did you use? Probably about $4. Biden's terms, about $12, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
You know, Keystone Pipeline.
Yeah, Keystone Pipeline Oil is not getting to us now, so. But that looks pretty good, man. Don't quote me, but I think I paid $119 for the gun.
Okay.
You know, the lift probably is the most expensive thing in here. We paid $55 to a lady in Roswell. I got to thank my daughter, by the way. She bought me a brand new toaster oven because she's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I was like, "A toaster oven." So she bought a brand new one. I hope it's wide enough.
You can powder coat and make toast at the same time.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. This is completely non-toxic, by the way. Speaking of which, but they say the minute you put it in your oven, it becomes toxic.
Well, I don't know. I haven't tasted it yet.
So we'll have to try it on this, but I wouldn't put your tongue on it just yet because I think we're onto something here. Honey, can you bring your ring out? I'm gonna powder coat it. Awesome.
There you go.
Part 1's done.
All right, man. Looks good.
Okay, so if you take a look at this is the second piece. I've got a little bit of gunk on here, so what we're gonna do is put it in the blaster and just get this thing cleaned up real good. And I'll go ahead and put a rubber glove on here in just a second, just so I'm not handling it, so I don't get any grease from my hands on here. We get good adhesion. But one thing you'll see on the translucent color, because this is pretty much chrome, it's gonna be highly reflective when we're done doing the paint or the powder coat on it. So let's get this thing in here and get it cleaned up. So real quick, we're gonna preheat it this time. So we got the oven set to 400. We're gonna get about 5 minutes in the oven and get the metal a little bit hotter. And we're on the higher power setting on this thing. We did it a minute ago. So we'll get it set up. We're gonna try that and see what we get out of this. It's going inside the garage. All right, if you take a look at the two of these, so that's what the finished product's gonna look like. We've got this electrically static charge, particles on there, which is our powder, and we're gonna stick it in the oven here and bake it. This time we preheated it, so let's go ahead and pull this thing off of here and get set. Let's see what we get. She's cooking. Shut up, Val, you talk too much. You're a man of a million words. Until the camera comes on.
I don't think I say enough.
Well, that was an easy day. I gotta tell you, I'm really impressed with the powder coating. The second one I think came out a lot better than the first. It's still hot, just took it out of the oven. But I mean, simple. All we needed really, I had to buy a pressure fitting. We're running about 7 PSI on this, which I think is perfect on getting the coating. If you're doing this, prep is not a big deal. I've watched a couple YouTube videos and the prep wasn't really anything you had to do a lot of. I will say you want a lot of product on here, so definitely get a lot of product and then get it in there, bake it in the oven. I let this go for 25 minutes, so I let it go a little bit longer than they're saying to let it go. I don't know if that's good or bad. You can comment down in here and you can tell me what I'm doing wrong on this if you want to, but super easy day, but very productive. I'm actually, I'm quite impressed with this. What do you think?
I like it a lot. I think the issue with the time-wise, temperature with the oven is just a fluctuation. It's not an even 400 as soon as you get it in. You know, when that door opens and things, just little things like that.
Yeah, it's so funny too because we didn't have electricity to this thing. We first started going, we started dumping powder on it, and I was like, Al's not here. We'll talk about it, right? He's not here. You can watch the video. I was like, you got to blow that off. Like, screw that. Hook the power. It just sticks right to it. But we got a really, really good coat on there before we got the electricity to it, and then put another coat on it. But I think we'll post a picture or two of this one, the after effects of this one compared to the other one. They're on opposite sides of the car, so you're not going to see it. You won't be able to look at it and go, that one's different. Unless you walk around, you really stick your nose up in the wheel well, but it's going to be hard to do with the wheels in there. The car's going to be sitting a lot lower. So I think this is really good. Now we're going to be powder coating fulls. I think Al said he wants to be powder coating his balls next. I told him we got to be steel like mine to get the metallic stuff in there going.
Got to do them chrome next.
Got to do them chrome first, right? Awesome. All right. Well, again, thanks for watching. This probably won't be too long. A lot of good content today. A lot of fun. This was actually really fun to do, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't hard to do. But anyways, again, if you're enjoying the channel, make sure you go to the bottom, like, subscribe, and share it far and wide. Peace out. In the words of John Taylor Page. We'll see you next time.